Last week marked my 7-year anniversary of being in business. So what I've done for you is written down the top 10 things that I know now that I wish I knew when I started. Number 1 is to work on your willpower. This is becoming more and more important to do every single day because there are more and more things that are looking to take our attention and distract us. And if we can focus for longer periods of time compared to our competitors, then we're going to be able to get more work done and achieve more results. And keeping your focus is really, really difficult. So I want to make a challenge for you. Really try to focus for the entirety of this video. It's not going to be that long, and try not to skip forward. Try and watch it and take on board every single point that I'm trying to make, and even make notes and think about how you can utilize these in your life moving forward. Number 2 is to make reversible decisions very quickly. You see, what a lot of people get stuck with, and I was definitely the same, is that I didn't make enough decisions. And when you don't make enough decisions, you don't create any momentum. And most people don't start. They don't start an entrepreneurial journey, or they don't do something new with their life because they just don't make the decision to start. And Jeff Bezos has this great kind of rule in Amazon, is that there are 1-door decisions and 2-door decisions. 1-door decisions should be taken very carefully because you cannot reverse a 1-door decision. 2-door decisions should be made very quickly and very frequently because there is a second door. So think about decisions in your life that maybe you've been putting off. What's the repercussions of making that decision and then it not working? And it's usually not as bad as people make out. Think about sitting in a stationary car and turning the steering wheel to try and move the wheels of the car. It's very difficult to do, but if you'd make that same adjustment on the steering wheel when the car is in motion, you can change direction very easily. And that's what it's like. If you want to change direction, make a new move, it's much easier to do it when you have that forward momentum. Number 3 is to create a bigger purpose than just money. You see, when you start doing something new, you're going to come across challenges. You're going to come across hurdles that are going to be difficult to overcome. And you're going to have restless, sleepless nights where you're concerned and thinking, have I made the right decision? And you're going to want to quit. But having a purpose that is bigger than just money is the thing that's going to keep you moving forward. So for me personally, it's about providing for my family, and not just money, but providing a nice life, giving my wife choices. So whether she wants to work or doesn't want to work is her choice, as opposed to her having to do certain things because I basically didn't pursue my dreams. That's my bigger purpose. So make sure that you have a bigger purpose because there will be challenging times. That's the one guaranteed thing. And you need to have something that keeps you moving forward throughout the pain. Number 4 is about making more mistakes, which is linked very closely to reversible decisions. You see, most people don't make enough mistakes. And the reason they don't make enough mistakes is because they're not taking enough decisions. When you make a mistake, you can learn, and you can learn a lot, and you can understand why things work and why things don't work. And I've made so many mistakes in my business, and I'm grateful for every single one of them, because when I make a mistake, I now understand that that doesn't work and the reason why it doesn't work. And then I can move forward and progress in a way that does work. And I know that I'm going to make many more mistakes throughout my entrepreneurial life, and I'm okay with that, and I'm happy with that, and not enough people are. So make frequent mistakes, make them small, don't make them costly mistakes, but don't be afraid to make more mistakes. Number 5 is to understand the essentials and tackle them first. It's a great skill to be able to understand what things are actually important. And there's so many distractions, so many things that entrepreneurs and business owners and people starting a business for the first time, there's so many things that people can do or could do, and so many people vying for your attention. But what's really important is to make sure that you're focusing on the things that are actually essential and the big levers that are going to make the biggest difference and move the needle the most in whatever goals that you have. Once you understand what those needle movers are, the next thing you need to do is to make sure that you tackle those things first. As soon as you wake up in the morning, the big scary looking things on the to-do list that are going to make the biggest impact in your business or in your life, tackle those first thing in the morning, because that's how you set precedents for the rest of your day. Number 6 is to work on yourself. So you will see behind me a bunch of books. Now that's probably 10% of the books that I have read. I read an awful lot of books, and what too many people do is they don't focus on themselves. Instead, they focus on the vehicle, especially those that are starting out, is they try and figure out what is the best thing to do. And don't get me wrong, there are some things that are much better vehicles than others, but if you look at any industry, and when I say a vehicle, I really mean like a business model or an industry. When you look at any industry, you will find people that have been wildly successful, and you will also find people that have failed miserably. And that shows you that it is not the vehicle, it is not the industry, it is not the model, it is the person that is driving that vehicle, it's the person that is operating that model. So that just goes to show that if you want to succeed, it's more about you than it is about the thing that you choose to do, the business model that you choose to start. It's about the individual. So work on yourself more so than researching the vehicle, because it's you that's going to have the biggest impact. And the best way to do that when you're starting out is to read a lot of books, business books, self-help books. Understand that it is you that makes the biggest impact on whether or not your new business is going to succeed, not the industry, not the government, not the economy. It's all about you. Number 7 is to make sure that you don't live your life for other people. I'm so glad that I made the decision to quit my 9-to-5 and go out on myself. And I was very fortunate. I had a very supportive family that wanted me to do that, but not everybody does. And sometimes that can be the thing that holds you back. But it's important that you understand what you want from your life and what makes you fulfilled, and that you choose to do things that are best for you, because we only have one life. And the last thing you want to do is have regrets when you're, towards your later years in life, and wonder what life could have been like if you did block out the naysayers and you actually went with your gut and you started to take action on creating the life that you know is capable for you. So don't live life for others, live life for yourself. Number 8 is to understand that there is a price to pay for everything. So if you start your own business now, you're going to pay a price right now that is hard work, that is stress, that is late nights of working, less socializing. You are going to pay a price now, but you are going to reap those rewards throughout the rest of your life. Now, if you don't start a business now, for example, you don't pay a price, but later in life, you do pay a price. You pay a price for not being able to live the life you want. You pay a price of regret. You pay a price of not being able to go on holiday or visit family or whatever it may be. You end up paying a price. So whether you decide to do what you really want to do, or you don't decide to do it, you're going to pay a price regardless. You're going to pay a price for something. So make sure that that something is worth paying for. Number 9 is that you don't have to have everything figured out before you can start. Reid Hoffman, who is the founder of LinkedIn, has this great quote where he says something along the lines of, entrepreneurship is like jumping off a cliff and building your plane on the way down. And that's exactly what it's like. You don't have to have everything figured out. I read a book from one of Richard Branson's autobiographies, and he talks about building the bus or building the plane as you go along the runway. You don't have to have everything figured out. And most people, they get scared about that and they think, I need to have all my ducks in a row before I can actually start my business. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You have to start and you have to get momentum. Remember my earlier analogy where I said it's much easier to turn a steering wheel in a car when you're actually moving. So you just need to get that momentum and things will fall into place and you will figure things out. But then if you don't do that, you get analysis paralysis and you don't make any changes, you don't do anything because you're scared, because you're not 100% sure about something, and you start forecasting things that might happen, questions that might arise, and you have to answer all of those questions before they're ever even in your reality. So just focus on the thing that is directly in front of you and get started. And then as the next problem, the next obstacle, the next hurdle comes up in front of you, solve that and only that hurdle, and don't worry about the next 20 hurdles ahead of you. Just solve the one that is directly in front of you, and that's how you start, build, and grow a business. And number 10 is to just look at what everybody is doing and then do the opposite. You see, the vast majority of people in life, they go through life working a 9-to-5, creating a dream and fulfilling a dream for that business owner that they work for. And most people never live life to the fullest. They never fulfill their potential because they get trapped in this 9-to-5 cycle, and maybe it's because you're not living life for yourself. And so what you want to do throughout life is look at what the majority of people are doing and do the opposite, because unfortunately the majority of people don't get what they're capable of out of life, what they really want out of life. So understand that, and if you carry on. If you do what everybody else does, you're going to get the same as everybody else. And if you want what everybody else has, then by all means, carry on. But if you're watching this video and you're watching it this far into the video, I know that that is not true of you. You want something else. You want a more abnormal life for the better. And so don't do what everybody else is doing, because most people, they don't have an abnormal life. If they did, then it would be a normal life, not an abnormal life. So don't do what everybody else is doing. Do the opposite. So I hope you found these 10 lessons useful. Now, if you want to learn how to start making 10K per month online, then you can watch the video that is popped up somewhere around me, and that video is going to take you through how you can start making 10K per month without having to quit your 9-to-5 job.